Hi everybody, this is Gail with Shabby Cottage Studio. I have a little tutorial here I wanted to share with you. Some of you may already know how to do this and some of you may not, so I thought it'd be fun to show you what I'm doing. I am going to do a Citrasolve image transfer process. This is the product I'm using, Citrasolve, and I understand from a lot of people that this is difficult to find in their areas. You can find it online and order it that way. I think I got it from Cheap Joe's Art Supplies in Boone, North Carolina. I ordered it online there. So I'm sure if you just Google Citrasolve, you will find a place to purchase it online if you cannot find it locally. This has a very strong orange odor, so I do suggest that you do this in a well ventilated area because the orange smell can get quite overpowering. I'm sitting with a window right in front of me, and my window is open, and I have a door behind me and that's also open so I can get some cross ventilation. What I'm doing is some chair covers for my dining room, and I wanted to print out some images that I created and transfer them to this fabric and then put this on my chairs. This fabric is nothing more than a painter's drop cloth. It's a canvas-like material. I think I got the 8-ounce weight. I didn't want the real heavy stuff. And I cut it to the size that I needed to cover my chair seat. Then, in my computer, I printed out the image that I wanted to transfer. If you are using text, or you are using an image that has to be in a particular position, you need to make sure that you reverse it in your computer. And every computer is a little different. Every software editor that you use is a little different, but usually you can find something that tells you to flip it horizontally or reverse image. And if you are using text, you absolutely definitely want to do this. Some images don't need it, like this frame and this crown. I really didn't need to reverse them if I didn't want to, but the word Paris, I needed to flip it. So when I transfer it, it transfers reading correctly, left to right, because what we're going to do is we're going to turn this upside down on our fabric, and you can see, I think you can see here through the light, that when it's down on the fabric, then Paris is going to read correctly. So all I'm going to do is lay the image on my fabric where I want to place it. Now I do have my fabric taped down. You can see here on the corners, and up here where you can't see, I have it taped down on the top corners. I am also going to tape down my image because you don't want this moving on you, because if it moves on you, it's going to more than likely smear. So I'm just going to quickly tape this down. And also you want to make sure when you lay it down that your image is straight on your fabric. So I have a cutting board with, you know, all the grids on them, so I knew that my fabric was straight, and I eyeballed this because I can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, I think maybe you can a little bit, but I can see a little bit of the image through this. And this, by the way, this is just copy paper, cheap copy paper. And I do have a laser printer, so I printed this at home, but you may have to go to you know, someplace where you can make a copy, because you do need a toner-based image. And that usually means it's a laser printer, because lasers use toner, inkjets use ink, and the ink won't work. Alright, I have a little cup here with my Citrasolve in it, and I have a brush. You don't want to put the Citrasolve on too heavy, because you will smear your image. Excuse me. Also what I have is a spoon. Just a household spoon. I use this for everything. I keep it right here in my art studio. And that's really all the supplies I need. I'm going to lightly start putting some of this Citrasolve on my image, and you can see the image showing through the paper. This is so easy. I do recommend some practice first. It does. Practice makes much better. I need just a little bit more Citrasolve, and be careful when you're pouring. It comes out fast and you can get way too much. So again, I'm just making sure I've got all of my image wet, but not sopping wet. Once that's done, I'm going to take the back of my spoon and I'm going to start to burnish. I'm also, excuse me if I get in the way on the camera, but I'm going to try and hold my paper too. Again, just anything I can do to try and prevent my image from moving or getting blurred on me. So I kind of, even though I have it taped down, I still also try and hold the paper. And there's no right or wrong as far as where you start on your image burnishing, just wherever you want. I kind of work from the outside in. I am putting a bit of pressure on this. Here's what I found in my practice. I tried a piece of wood because that's what it was suggested when I found the written tutorial, and I found that the wood that I was using wasn't transferring my image dark enough. So I also found another tutorial where they suggested using a spoon, and I had done it in the past with a spoon, so I went back to my spoon, and that seemed to work much better. I'm putting some pressure on it, but I'm not like really scrubbing at it because I don't want to rip my paper, and again, I just don't want to smear, because remember, this is toner based ink, so that means it's sitting on top of your paper. It's not down into the fibers of your paper like I think inkjets do. So smearing is a possibility if we're not careful. And I'm going to try this one more time, and then I'm going to take a little peek. But you have to be careful. You don't want to. You can't lift this off and then put it back because you won't get it lined up. But usually, what I will do is I'll just come here to the corner and lift it just to see how my image is doing. And it's doing really good over there. And I'll check this corner. And again, it's doing pretty good. Now, I have never yet achieved a really, really, really dark image. And I think also your fabric plays into this. Drop cloth fabric, being of a canvas-like material, is not as smooth as, say, a cotton or a linen. Alright. The proof is in the pudding, as they say, so we shall see what we've got. Woo! Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. And let me move in, see if I can move in a little closer for you. I don't know, my zoom is not, there we go. And that is not a smear, that is the font that I use to print the word Paris. Okay, so at first I thought it was a smear, but it's on closer look it's not. So, there you go. It took me as long as I showed you on this video. And I probably talked longer than I did doing the image. So, that's how easy it is. But again, practice makes perfect. Make sure you use a toner-based ink. And make sure you tape everything down so it doesn't move on you. And make sure you don't lift the whole paper off your image and then try to reline it back up, because it's not going to happen. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, and hope you enjoyed this. Bye!